Your host, RJ Cash. Hope you're doing well this Monday morning. Click that like button, hit subscribe. We already recorded the Monday morning quarterback show going over the weekend, college pro, all the betting angles. You can catch that on our YouTube channel every Monday, Thursday, Monday morning quarterback, reviewing the weekend betting trends angles, looking ahead to Monday football. And also Thursday is the pregame kickoff show going over all the games. Also, check us out, breaktheboardsports.com. We have our notes blog section, totally free. It's built to help you become a better handicapper, not with a bunch of paragraphs and having to read a book. You guys don't have time for that. Click on it. You'll see it. Opening line, current line, betting splits, and then just some quick hitter notes for you to look down, help you become a better handicapper. There's so many trends, so much you can get lost in. It's just clear, concise for you to be able to say, hey, yeah, I like this game, or hey, I like this game. Let me see what kind of notes RJ and the boys got at breaktheboardsports.com. So again, please click that like button. We're hopping into MLB Rundown for Monday here, September the 8th, and let's go ahead and start. Again, clicking all the lines. We're going to use FanDuel for this. First one on the board is the Kansas City Royals facing the Cleveland Guardians. Both of these teams still in the playoff mix as the Seattle Mariners just absolutely refuse to put an end to the wild card race. They've let everybody back into it. When you go here, just swipe in. Let me update the lines and stuff for you. When you look at the wild card standings right now, Kansas City 2 back, Guardians 2.5 back. Safe to say, if one of these teams was to sweep the other, it's Dunsies, as there's just about 18, 19 games left for some of these teams in the league. Again, the Kansas City Royals today visiting the Guardians. Guardians will send Sessione to the hill, minus at R10, minus 106 with Ryan Begert for the Kansas City Royals. Now, look, these teams have played 9 times so far this year. The Guardians with the upper hand, 5-4. The last series was in July. In KC, Kansas City took 2 out of 3 there. Ryan Begert, again, will get the call for the Royals. Over his last 5 starts, the rookie, 2-3 with a 2.28 ERA, has never faced the Guardians. Guardians Slade Sessione and his pizza shop has been on fire his last 5 starts, and not in a good way. He's went up in flames, 1-4 with an 8.28 ERA, gave up 11 hits, 7 runs in his last outing against Boston back last week, despite recording 8 strikeouts in that matchup. When you look at this game, really hard to pin aside. The Royals have hit the under 79 of their last 135 games. So the under there has been able to make you a profit and cash that. When you look a little deeper into this matchup for today, give me just a second, refreshing everything for you. I think for the Kansas City Royals, Begert, they definitely have the better pitcher on the hill. It'll be interesting to see as it moves closer how it goes. Now the under is 53 and 38, or sorry, 53 and 38, 15 games over 500 for the Guardians. They've hit the team total under. That would give you 9.35 units up in this matchup. Over under 7.5, even money to the under. The over juiced minus 122 here in this one. No play from us. I would definitely look Sessione, despite giving up 7 runs in his last outing. He also struck out 8 before that. He's been hanging around that 3 to 4. So definitely something maybe you could dive into from a pitching prop standpoint if you dive into those. Washington Nationals will send Cavalli to the hill against Junk for the Marlins. Now, these teams have split the last 10 matchups. However, the Nationals swept this series back last week in Washington, 10-5, 5-2, and 2-0. Cade Cavalli, as we said, he's cooled off. Started out pretty good, but 3-2 with a 5.68 ERA. He started last week, though, against the Marlins, went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. So a good performance from him. Jansen Junk was pitching well, but he's thrown nothing but junk his last 5 starts. Despite the 3-2 record, his ERA is 5.86. In all of his last 4 starts, he's given up 3 runs, 6 runs before that. He's never faced the Nationals. Again, the over-under in that game set at 8. Juice minus 115 to the over. Next game on the slate is a big one, right? The Mets cling to that last wild card spot. The Philadelphia Phillies have all but won the NL East. They can wrap it up this weekend. Mets minus 122 on the road at FanDuel, plus 104 on the comeback for the Phillies. You're over under 8.5, juiced minus 122 to the over. Now, these teams met 9 times this year. The New York Mets have taken 7 of the 9 meetings, including a sweep back the end of August in New York. Over the last 11, the Mets are 9-2. Nolan McLean, the rookie phenom, will get the call for the Mets. 3-0 with a 1.71 ERA. Faced the Phillies back on August 27th. Went 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs, and 6 strikeouts. Aaron Nola, 3-2 with a 10.57 ERA. Since coming back off the DL, it has just gotten worse and worse. His last outing against Milwaukee last week, 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 strikeouts, the 6.66 guy. He faced the Mets, but it was back in April before he hit the DL. 7 hits, 4 runs, 6 strikeouts again in that one. The Mets, maybe you look at something here from a Nola strikeout standpoint, over under 5.5. Plus 104 to the over. Nolan McLean over under 5.5, plus 108 to the over. To me here, with the Mets dominating the Phillies, I don't want to step in front of the Mets. But again, the Phillies could put the Mets away here for all NL East purposes. It's already put away, would just be a formality. But the Mets desperately need to win these games. They're clinging there to that lead with the Reds, the Giants, and the D-backs. Are all about 4 games back. However, all it takes is one bad series. The Mets, I think they take 2 out of 3 in this series. I would back Nolan McLean on the road minus $1.22. However, it's going to be a stay away. Cubbies will face the Atlanta Braves. Imanaga, the southpaw, will get the call for the Cubs, laying $1.18 on the road. Even money for the Bravos coming back as they'll throw out there Bryce Elder onto the hill. Now, look, Imanaga, you're over under 8.5, minus 122 to the over. Shota Imanaga, not bad, 2-3, but a 3.21 ERA over his last 5 starts. 3 of those 5 starts, he's given up exactly 5 runs. He faced the Braves earlier this year. Imanaga back actually just 5 days ago. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, only 2 strikeouts. He struggled. Now, Bryce Elder got blown up all year long, but all of a sudden he's hit the hot button last week against the Cubs. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, and it wasn't even earned. 6 strikeouts. Bryce Elder, 4-1 with a 3.69 ERA over his last 5 starts. So he's pitched much better. The Braves, the team total under is hit 26 of their last 38 games at home. If you blindly have been following that, you'd be up 11.65 units, a 25% return on your investment. The over, 31-23, would put you up 9 units on that one. And the Braves have covered the run line 18 of their last 28 games. If you had been laying the run and a half or taking the run and a half, either or, right now, Braves plus a run and a half, minus $1.64. If you had taken that 18-10 over the last 28 games, you'd be up 8.95 units, 25% return on your investment. Cubs here, they're kind of in a no man's land, right? The NL Central is a formality. There's no way they're catching the Brewers. They're kind of comfortable here in the wild card positioning. The Braves, they got some young talent coming up trying to play. I would actually follow the trend on that run line. I don't like the $1.64 for the plus run and a half. I would find something maybe I could parlay with the Braves with that plus run and a half, but definitely like that trend. The Milwaukee Brewers laying $1.18 on the road. Even money for the Texas Rangers, the home team in this one. Your over-under sets at 8.5, minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. Jose Quintana will get the call for the Brewer Crew on the road, 3-2 with a 4.23 ERA. not bad. 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run. But the one that was the blimp on the radio, or the radar rather, was that outing 2 starts ago against this resurgence of the D-backs and these young kids, where he gave up 5 hits, 6 runs over 3 2/3. Now, he hasn't faced Texas since 2023. Jacob Latz, southpaw for the Rangers, will get the call. Rangers just 1 game out of the wild card spot. We thought they could get hot. I think if the Rangers get in, especially when you look if they get Evaldi back, you got Evaldi, you got DeGrom. The Rangers could be a problem if they can just find a way to get themselves into the AL playoffs. Again, only a 1 game out of that wild card. Latz 3-2 with a 3.338. He has never faced the Brew Crew. His last outing out against Arizona, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 strikeout for him in that. If you're looking at the pitching props, updating them here again at FanDuel, Quintana over under 3.5 for strikeouts. Jake Latz over under 3.5. Juice minus 140 to the over for 3.5 for Quintana. Juice minus 128 to the over for Latz. Twins, they'll visit the Angels. Again, 2 teams that just got a bunch of young kids playing ball here. Angels minus 120 at home, plus 102 for the road Twinkies. Your over-under set at 9.5. Twins have taken all 3 meetings this year. They swept the Angels. More importantly, the Twins have taken 11 of the last 13. They've absolutely dominated the LA Angels. Simon Woods Richardson gets the call today, 2-3 with a 6 flat ERA. He faced the Angels back in April, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run. And for the Angels, Caden Dana, 2-2 with a 7.04. That over 9.5, that would be some I look at. Maybe you look at a first 5 over, see if you can get 5 runs there. Dana, if you're looking at the Twins team total here, sorry, if you're looking at the Twins team total over 4.5 minus 122, I think that's good value. If you're looking at the first 5 innings total runs, over under 5.5, over plus 102, under minus 132. Again, neither one of these starting pitchers very good. 7 ERA for Dana, 6 ERA for Richardson. We'll see if it holds true. But again, look into the over. There's a couple offshore places where you can tease those over-unders. Maybe that's something you look for there. Again, my name's RJ Cash, breaktheboardsports.com. MLB Rundown every day. We just put out our Monday football show recapping the weekend. Go to breaktheboardsports.com. You can sign up for our plays as well in our interactive P&L, $64.99 a month. Or right now we have a special $389 for the calendar year. Works out to be $1.37 a day. Every play, every sport, breaktheboardsports.com. Moving on here, St. Louis Cardinals at the Seattle Mariners. Mariners laying a big price at home. They're clinging to a 1-game lead in the AL wildcard, minus 225, plus 188 on the comeback for the St. Louis Redbirds. Your over-under set at 7.5, minus 110 both ways. Last year, these teams met in St. Louis. The Mariners took 2 out of 3 in that matchup. Pitchers for the day for the Redbirds, Miles McCollis pitched much better over his last 5 starts. Not great, just better. 3-2 with a 3.91 ERA. When he faced Seattle last year back in September, McCollis, that is, Seattle beat the Redbirds 10-4. McCollis only lasted 2 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned. Got lit up by Seattle. Brian Wu, been one of the better pitchers for the Mariners all year long. 3-2 with a 3.03 ERA. Has never faced the Cardinals. Again, I think the Mariners are the play. Laying 225, I'm not a fan laying around a half. Laying 225, I'm not a fan of either. Maybe you parlay in with that Braves plus 1.5 minus $1.64. If we type that into the calculator, get you plus 132. So I would definitely look for a dance partner for the Seattle Mariners. If you like a side in the football game, maybe you throw the Mariners money line in there. Again, I just don't like laying run lines in baseball. Happens all the time. A team's up 4-2. Somehow magically they give up a run in the 9th. So that's something try to stay away from. Big implications here. We talked about the Reds trying to hold on and take that last NL wildcard spot from the New York Mets. San Diego Padres, they're in their own fight for the NL West, just a game back of the Dodgers. Dodgers should have a soft spot. They got the Rockies for a 3-game set at home. Padres, on the other hand, they got to face this Reds team that's vying for a playoff spot. Right now, Padres minus $1.44 as the home team, plus 122 on the comeback for the visiting Big Red Machine. Over-under set at 7.5. It's juice minus 110 both ways. Now, they've played a 3-game set in Cincinnati back in June. The Reds took 2 out of 3. These teams have split the last 10 times they've matched up. Nick Lodolo, the southpaw, will get the call for the Reds, 3-2 with a 2.6 ERA. He faced the Padres back in June, 5 1/3, 7 hits, only 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts. Padres will go with Yu Darvish, 2-3 with a 4.88, not the same Yu that we're used to seeing. He has not faced the Reds this year, faced them back April of last season, so not really something you can really go off of. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts in that one. The Reds have hit the game total under 79 of the last 137 games this year. 23.05 units is what that would put you up. The under, the same way for the Padres. They've hit the under 78 of the 143 games. 10.35 units up on that. So the under 7.5. Remember, I talked about there's some offshore places they'll let you tease 2 baseball totals, a run a half. This would definitely be a candidate. Taking the under in the Padres game if you got up 8.5 or 9, possibly with the over Twins at like an over 8.5 or over 8. Again, those are only offshores. They're not offered at like a FanDuel, DraftKings. But if you have an offshore account, look at it and see if that's something that's an option for you. As far as a side, again, these 2 teams, just both of them need it too much. Maybe you look at a first 5 under in this one. If you go to the first 5 result for this game, total runs in the first 5 innings, over under 4.5. The over is even money, minus 130 to the under. Just don't want to get down with that. If I look at the Cincinnati Reds, total runs over under 3.5. Don't want to get down with that, though I don't trust Darvish. Padres got the best pin in baseball, in my opinion. So you might be able to find some player props, some hitter props. Again, we'd be here all day if we went into that. But as far as a side and the total, nothing here. Obviously, things are pointing towards the under, but that 7.5 is just difficult to bite on. Next matchup, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. All of a sudden, the Diamondbacks trade away all their players. They bring in all these farm kids and all of a sudden get hot. They're only 4.5 back. Giants, they've been playing well. Also, they're only 4 back. They just played a 4-game set back in July. They split that series. They've split the last 10 matchups. These 2 teams always go at it. Nabil Chrismat will get the call for the D-backs, 3-1 with a 2.25. The rookie's been electric. Obviously, he's never faced the Giants, but he's got a tall task to keep up with Logan Webb, the ace of the Giants, and a guy who is just lights out at home. Webb, 4-1 with a 2.87 ERA. However, Arizona got the best of him in San Francisco back June 30th. He went 6 1/3, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, despite striking out 7. Giants laying $1.90. Comeback plus 160 with the D-backs. You're over under 7.5, minus 115 to the over. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the D-backs here. Look, plus 160. I understand it's Logan Webb. I understand. But listen, the Giants are only a half game up on the D-backs. This game should be more realistic. Giants minus $1.30, minus $1.35. No way they should be $1.90. I'll sprinkle a little bit, maybe a half unit on the D-backs. Nothing crazy. Maybe you take the D-backs and put them with the Mariners. I'm down to put the Mariners money line with anything today. I think the Mariners win. I just personally wouldn't want to lay 225. Again, go to breaktheboardsports.com, sign up, get all of our plays $1.37 a day for the calendar year. Also, click on that blog notes section. We break down all the football games, give you quick hitter notes, not paragraphs and stuff you got to read in the cipher. Really quick, anywhere from 6 to 12 little betting notes, one-liners, betting trends, ATS stuff to help you quickly become a better handicapper for yourself, Betting 101. Boston Red Sox next on the docket. They'll be laying $1.74 on the road, plus 146 on the comeback for the Sacramento A's. Your over-under sets at 9. Boston and the A's haven't hooked up at all this year, but over the last 10, Boston's taken 7 of those 10. Garrett Crochet, a guy that I thought was the Cy Young, it doesn't seem like he wants it either. 3-2 with a 4.80 his last 5. Hasn't faced the Athletics since last year when he went 4 innings, gave up 1 run. For the A's, it's been the phenom, Luis Morales, 4-1 with a 1.37. Boston, just 3.5 out of the AL East, fighting for that top wild card spot with the Yankees still. And I know Crochet is going to get a lot of love at minus $1.74, but I got to tell you, Morales has pitched well. Again, I think the line's heavily inflated. To me, I would do A's or bats. You can actually get the A's plus a run and a half minus $1.13. I would try to find some ways you could get the A's in some types of little bets. Again, I'm not crazy about the card today. The one thing I do love, I love the Seattle Mariners. I'm just not a handicapper or a bear that's going to lay 225. That's just not something you can do in a baseball game. Too many things can happen. But I do like the Seattle Mariners. Maybe you can do some alt-run lines and stuff with the A's and the D-backs and kind of get you there. Again, your goal is not to bet a bunch of games every day, right? And I know that's hard, like college football, college basketball. There's like 100-some games. What you're looking to do is how can I try, and you're not going to do it every day, but how can I try and turn a little bit of a profit, right? How can I take this from I'm making $500 a week to making $1,000 a week to making $1,200 a week to making $1,500 a week? You can make a living handicapping and betting, but you can't be erratic. You can't be all over the place. You can't go trying to force a bet. If the bet's not there, it's just not there. Like I said, that Mariners, maybe you like a side in the football game. Maybe you like a player prop and you want to put it with the Mariners. Different ways to look at. Last game on the docket is the Colorado Rockies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Right now, we don't even know who the pitcher for the Dodgers is. Probably a bullpen effort. Minus 350, plus 280 on the comeback for the Rockies. Just a sick line. You can't lay 350. You're over under 9. Juice minus 122 to the over. Now, they've met 10 times this year. Dodgers have taken 8 of the last 10. Chase Dolander gets the call for the Rockies. 1-4 with a 7.03 ERA. Dodgers, again, we don't know who's pitching for them. Dolander's faced the Dodgers twice this year. The most recent, August 21st, where he went 3 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs there in LA, 5 strikeouts. The Dodgers should get the win. I don't like bullpen days, but if you did Dodgers and Mariners, it gets you minus 117, right? Maybe that's something you do. I hate putting a $3 favorite in there, but it is the Rockies and the Dodgers. Like we said, the Dodgers are clinging to a 1-game lead over the San Diego Padres. Again, breaktheboardsports.com. Every day we have the MLB Rundown show. Please go watch the football show from today. That's every Monday and Thursday. Also, shorts coming up during the week. We'll have a short on the noon college football games, a short on the midday college football games, a short on the primetime games, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, LSU, Florida. You don't want to miss that show. Going to be a lot of good betting information, trends, angles, not necessarily picks, just giving you stuff to help you become a better handicapper. And then we'll have our NFL Thursday show with the Redskins and the Packers. Right now, Packers laying 3.5. Go to breaktheboardsports.com. Get your quick hitter notes. They cost nothing. Click on the notes blog section. But if you do want all of our plays, you can go every sport, everything we do, college hoops, NBA, baseball, playoffs, college football, NFL, all the way through the Super Bowl, all of March Madness, $1.37 a day, $389 for the whole year. Again, breaktheboardsports.com. Follow us on X as we're always throwing trend information out there. Y'all have a blessed day, and let's make some money. Happy handicap.